he brought out the ring and said, he
I'm
grabbed my
sure.
hand. He brought out the ring and he said, Hilda, will you be my wife? I met my husband on Spareroom.Com. Yes, the Spareroom we all know. And at that point, I was single and he was also single. The intention was not love. The intention was not relationship at that point. Still, the attraction was not something that was intentional. So my husband and I fell in love with lots of chaos that came with it. But I think personally, I didn't care. And at some point, he stopped caring either. When I say chaos, I mean things like people coming for you, people calling you a gold digger, people saying, oh, you're just there for his money, you can never like him genuinely. I came back from work and he called me to the room and he was like, he showed me a magazine and a writing. Someone had sent something through the mail box and saying, go back to Africa, go back to Nigeria. At that point, I was speechless. And he rang the police. The neighbor had sent a post and written, go back to Nigeria, go back to where you come from, you gold digger. I was speechless. I didn't even know what to say, but he was very furious about it. The air in that environment was so toxic. A lot of ill things being said about me. You know how it is now, especially when they see a black girl with a white man, they're like, oh, she's there for your papers, she's there for your money. And I'm like, which money? Which money are you talking about? You living in the UK, a black person living in the UK, most people automatically think that you are broke or you're coming from a desert. But it's not always the case, I tell them. But most times I just ignore them. Of course, this was reported to the police, but the neighbors, they obviously denied it and said they weren't the one, but I wasn't expecting anything less. At that point, I didn't care much, but you know, there are certain things that people will say to you that you just feel so angry about. Like, you'll be like, who is this person? Back home safe, this one didn't even reach my leg. My husband tried to make me feel calm about the whole thing, and he also apologized on their behalf. Then this issue, I mentioned it to my sister. She wasn't very comfortable about, my elder sister, she wasn't very comfortable about the relationship. My family was not very comfortable relationship with the abuse that came with it and every other thing. They were very, very upset. And it got to a point my property was destroyed. My things were destroyed. And I also reported this as well, but it became so toxic. The air was so toxic that I obviously had to move out of the house. I was drained. I was sad. I will not say I was depressed. And when you get to that point in your life and you're like, what will be, will be. That was my situation at that moment. I had to move out of the house. And I was like, if it's God's will, it will work. Then if it's not, I'm fine and I'm good. But funny enough, my husband presently came around looking for me. And he actually fought hard for our relationship and told me, Hilda, you are going nowhere. It was something that I'd never experienced. But we became stronger, and at this point I was still out of his house. I decided to move out of his house because of the whole toxic air. And we decided to go on our first trip together. And guess where, guys? We decided to go to Nigeria. It was an amazing trip because that was the first time and only time, thank God we traveled because now my dad is late. That was the first time he visited Africa and he was able to meet my people because he wanted to see my people. That's my mom, my dad, my siblings. So we went to Nigeria. We visited Lagos. We went to see my uncle. I call him my second dad, Uncle Emeka, and it was it was just amazing because it felt so good to be home, and at the same time it was an introduction that was not planned. Gosh, I'm terrible with makeup now. Here in the UK, don't really get to do makeup that often. Yeah, it was the first time coming to Nigeria, first time meeting my parents, first time meeting my siblings and my uncle. Nigeria, this husband of mine, see him there. He had an engagement ring with him, so he had intentions of proposing. But what happened?
Well, I just never found the right time to do it, babes. I kept missing the opportunity.
He's an extremely shy person. He's very shy, but it was after we left Nigeria, we came back to the UK, and he was like, "Did I actually had the engagement ring with me?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?" After the proposal, he told me that actually, but it was just so funny. And we went on our second trip. Thank you. We went on our second trip. Where did we go? Was it Greece or Spain?
Cool.
Had a ring again.
I was going to do that time we're on the beach. I was going to do it, but it was too windy. It was blowing my hair into my face.
Yeah. And we left Greece, and he didn't propose to me. Then 2 weeks later, we went to Barcelona. We went to what's the name of that place?
It was like the Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah, we went there. But I noticed that this young man was tensed. He was very tensed. I was like, why is he pacing? But he was like, oh, come on, Hilda, we have to do this. Oh, we have to go to what's the name? Sagrada Basilia. Familia. And he didn't want to tell me what plan he had, and he had the ring there again. So
well,
apparently,
I missed the opportunity twice there.
So apparently, he had traveled to 3 different countries with an engagement ring without proposing. And I was
that ring had been halfway around the world.
Yeah. I was just marveled. Then we came back from Barcelona, and when we came back the next day, the next day he said, okay, tomorrow we're going out to dinner. And I was like, okay. He said I should dress up. I was like, okay. I got dressed, and we actually went to what's the name of that restaurant?
Asian Ivy.
Asian Ivy. Went to Asian Ivy, and we're eating. He was still acting so tense, and he brought out the ring and said, he grabbed my hand. He brought out the ring and he said, "Hilda, will you be my wife? Hilda, will you marry me?" And he knew the answer to that already, because the suffer we don't suffer for this relationship. I don't know which other proposal we want. We are going to talk no. He said, "Hilda, will you be my wife?" And obviously, I said, "Yes, baby. I'll be your darling wife." And that was it. That was how I got engaged. This happened, I think, was it November, December last year? Yes, I think it was towards the end of last year. Well, my husband and I celebrate every opportunity we get as our anniversary, because it did come with a lot of challenges from family, from peers, from workers. Imagine people just saying nasty things about you, especially as a foreigner, and you're like, guy, really? Now because I did this country, but we stood strong together and we're able to fight for our love, and it turned out well. Never did I think in a million years that I'll end up getting married to my landlord. So there's a reminder out there that some things don't come easy, some do. The way it worked for me, it might not be the same way it will work for another person. Never did I ever think in a million years that I'll end up finding my misery, finding my husband on Spare Room. Never imagined so, but it did work out, and I'm grateful to God. And we are standing strong. How did I do my makeup, guys? I know this is not the best, but I tried. And my outfit is from Nigeria. It was made by Face by Abby. I've had this for a long time. I've had this for like 3 years. So I tried to rock it for you guys. So what do you think? Love you guys. Bye.